What's up guys, JV2017 here, and I'm bringing you a new Fallout 4 tips and tricks video. And this time I'm going to show you all a series of tests to figure out whether Life Giver or Endurance is better if you want to increase player health. So throughout my build guides and several other Fallout videos I've made, I made the assumption that Life Giver is the best option if you want to mitigate damage. Now this is just an assumption I made, and I wanted to figure out whether it's true or not by actually testing it. So we're going to find out exactly which is better by leveling up a character, spending some special points, and looking at the health. First, we need to know how this game calculates health. Fallout 4 calculates your health based on a formula that's a function of your player level, so whatever level you are, and your endurance on your character. And so those are the only two factors that are going to determine that. Obviously there's outside factors like maybe a companion perk or a bobblehead, which increases this directly, but those are the two main influencers of your player health. And there's actually a formula in the game that it calculates with. So it's 80 plus your endurance times 5, and then it's plus your level minus 1 times your endurance divided by 2 plus 2.5. Now, depending on where you come from, your background, your education, this is either a nightmare or this is a piece of cake. But this is an accurate way to calculate your health, and you can figure it out depending on your player level and your endurance whenever you want to using this very same formula. But in order to kind of make it easier for some of you guys, think of the first half of this formula, the 80 plus your endurance times 5, as the base. This only changes when you increase your endurance. Think of the second half of the formula as the multiplier. That's the level minus 1 times your endurance divided by 2 plus 2.5. This changes based on your level and your endurance. And so the multiplier is definitely something we're going to be talking about plenty when we're talking about health. Now, before we start adding Life Giver or additional points of endurance, let's see how player level and endurance influences our health already. So we're looking at a very basic character here, a level 1 with only 1 endurance, as basic and as low as you possibly can be for your health. So 85 is pretty much the lowest you can possibly be. And the way they calculate this is applying the formula. So you got your 80 plus your 1 endurance times 5, that's pretty much the base. And then the multiplier is the 1 minus 1 times our 1 endurance over 2 plus 2.5. Of course, the multiplier doesn't even matter because we're level 1, and 1 minus 1 is 0. Anything times 0 is just 0. So that's how we come up with just our base of 85 here. Now we're going to add some levels using console commands and just observe the changes with our health. And keep in mind this is a 1 endurance build. So first off, let's go to level 5. We're done with that. And we can tell that we have 97 health, and that's just a function of that formula. Backing up out of here, now I'm going to set my player level to 10. Just like that. And now we can tell we have 112 health. So with only 1 endurance, these were the changes we saw at level 1, level 5, and then level 10. Now we're looking at a level 1 character with 3 endurance. So once again, we're level 1, and then looking at our special, we've got 3 endurance. And as you can tell, our health is 95. So again, this is a function of this formula. You've got your base, but this time it's 3 times 5 since our endurance is 3, and then the multiplier again doesn't come into effect on level 1. Repeating what we just looked at, but with this character, we're going to use a console command to increase our level to level 5. So now we're level 5 with our 3 endurance character, and as you can tell, the health is already just as high. It's only 1 difference between our other character that only had 1 endurance at level 10. So basically at level 10 with 1 endurance, we had 112 health. At level 5 with 3 endurance, we have 111. So you can very clearly tell the power of that multiplier. Now we're going to set our player to level 10 and see what the health is there to compare. And it's 131. So you can clearly tell that endurance and the multiplier, if you have that endurance and you get to the same level, if you're comparing endurance and level, your health is going to be much higher. That's something we expect. So really the conclusion here, what to think about, is that endurance gives both a higher base health by affecting the base part of that formula, and also increases that health multiplier. So no matter what, you are going to be getting health as you level up, but depending on your endurance, that multiplier is going to go up. You're going to get more health as you level up. Now that we've got this basic understanding of how this formula and health and player level and endurance works together, let's go through a few scenarios and tests to see, what's better, adding Life Giver or an additional point of endurance to increase our health. So I'm a level 10. the same character with 3 endurance, and this is what we're going to use. So let's say that I'm having a tough time with enemies. I need a little more health. Should I take the first rank of Life Giver, or should I dump an extra point into endurance for the health? And so what we're going to do, just as a test, first off, we're going to jump into the perk chart and then take endurance. This is our first test. So we started out with 131 health. We're going to go ahead and take 1 point of endurance, spending one of those level ups. Now I went up to 140 health. So go ahead and remember this as we move on and see what Life Giver does. Here we are on the same character, just going to hop in, go to the perk chart, and take Life Giver instead of increasing our endurance up to 4. So taking Life Giver right here, confirming that, and then moving back, you can see that my health is at 151. So we only got a 9-point boost by putting an extra point into endurance, whereas if we went into Life Giver, we get a 20-point boost. And that's pretty much what you're going to see with Life Giver no matter what. You're going to see that 20-point boost. But depending on, the combination of your endurance and your level, it's going to be different if you just point an extra point into endurance. Let's go ahead and repeat the same exact thing except with a level 20 character. So we still have 3 endurance, except we are level 20 now, and we can tell that the base health at level 20 with 3 endurance is going to be 171 health. So now we're going to use one of our level up points to go into Life Giver, see what the difference is, and it's pretty obvious, but I'm just showing you guys. We're going to get 20 more health, and it's going to put us at 191 total HP. Now let's check out what's going to happen with our endurance. So instead of taking Life Giver, we're going to put an extra point into endurance and see what the effect is. And we see we only have 185 here. So pretty much I've shown you up to level 20. It depends on your endurance, clearly. I only have 3 endurance. So up to level 20, if you have only 3 endurance, Life Giver is clearly the best option if you just want to jump up to a certain amount of health. If you need a solid chunk of health, Life Giver is going to help you more than just, putting an extra point into endurance. But we haven't tested if I have high endurance. So we're going to kind of circle back around and give myself high endurance to see what the difference is. Now I've put our character at 7 endurance. So hopping in here, you can clearly tell I have 7 endurance, and that already puts us at 115 health at only level 1. So we're going to pop out of here, go ahead and set our level to level 10. Now, coming back in here, we have 169 health, which is interesting. So remember that. We're going to add Life Giver. Clearly, the result is going to be that we get 20 more health, so up to 189 from 169. This time I've refunded our point, and we're going to go back and see if we take endurance, what the difference is in our health. So we were at 169. Now we've jumped up to 178, which is not nearly as much as if we took Life Giver. So you can tell the difference here. This kind of surprised me, and I think I've got an explanation for that I'm going to touch on, but just remember the differences here. Now we're going to go ahead and look at a level 20 character like we did when I only had 3 endurance. Just repeating the same process, I have a level 20 character with 229 health with 7 endurance. So way more, as you can tell right there. The fact that I have 7 endurance gave me a lot more health just by default. So we're going to go ahead and level up, obviously, with Life Giver. That's just going to bump that up by 20 up to 249 health. This time, we're going to take an extra point in endurance and see what the difference is. So as you can tell, we only went up to 243. So this is, again, less than you would expect. And I believe this has to do with the idea of retroactiveness and the fact that each time I leveled up, I had more health, because I was already at a high level of endurance. And so I don't think you're going to see as much of a jump just by putting 1 point into endurance. However, over time, if you put that point into endurance and then keep leveling up, over time you will see a higher gain, taking endurance over Life Giver, because you can only take Life Giver 3 times where it gives you 20 more hit points, and then you also get that extra function of regenerating your health, which that's a whole other conversation. That's not really what I'm including in this video here. But the fact of the matter is it really depends. The conclusion here is that it depends. We can obviously tell that rank 1 of Life Giver provides a nice boost really at any level of your endurance, but what we have to remember again is that if you take endurance earlier in your character's lifespan, it's going to benefit you more because endurance does not work retroactively. And so you're missing out on, a lot of health if you don't take endurance earlier and keep endurance high at an early level. So I wish I could have given you all a more concrete answer which one is better, but the answer is that it really does depend. It depends on your character build, it depends on what level you are, how far you are into the game. You know, it really does depend. And so I think, you know, understanding the mechanics of how these things work will be able to make help you guys make more informed decisions on which one you should go with your character at whatever level or whatever endurance your character is at. So alright guys, today I showed you the difference between Endurance and Life Giver and how it benefits your character in Fallout 4. And next time we'll cover more Fallout on my channel, so stay tuned for more Fallout 4 tips and tricks videos. If you learned something new, remember to hit that like button, I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe for more unique weapon guides, build guides, and general tips and tricks videos. Talk to you guys next time. Peace!